I remember standing in the studio that first spring afternoon, the scent of fresh ink still clinging to the custom boxes we'd just unwrapped. My hands trembled as I slid aside the foam inserts and revealed the prototypes for Elin Artisanal's new holiday collection, each one a perfect miniature moment of joy, wrapped in my signature forest green packaging, tied with hand-dyed ribbon, and emblazoned with our gold foil crest, an oak leaf cradling a single shining star. "It's beautiful," whispered Ivy, my co-founder, her voice catching in the hush. "It's exactly the dream we sketched on that napkin last year." I ran a fingertip down the logo. "It's more than packaging, it's our promise. Every box says, 'You matter enough to deserve something extraordinary.'" I placed the last prototype back in its box and locked eyes with Ivy. This holiday season, we're launching Elin's first limited edition gift set. Handcrafted ceramics from the Highlands, cocoa nib chocolate from Bali, all delivered in this. We're going big. I should have known Marcus would hear. He found me the next morning in the break room, his coffee cup steaming, his tie slightly askew. He'd stopped by after his early tea time at Evergreen. He leaned against the counter, arms folded, and gave me that half smile I knew too well. "Emma," he said, voice casual as if he were asking for the sugar. "I got your email. Impressive boxes." He nodded toward the packaging prototype on my desk. I offered him a mug of tea. He took it, but didn't smile. "You know," he continued, stirring his latte, "when I first met you, you were building soap out of a shoebox in your tiny apartment. Now you've got these." He gestured theatrically. "It's cute, but holidays are crowded. Big brands spend millions on marketing. You'll be invisible." My chest tightened. I remembered the first time he'd rolled his eyes at my loft studio dream. He'd called it quaint but doomed. "We have orders from 10 boutiques already," I said, forcing calm. "And our pre-launch signups doubled overnight." He shrugged. "Boutiques are fine, but if you really want to move volume, you need deep pockets or an influencer drop. Otherwise, it's just artisanal noise." I took a breath. "We care about quality over quantity, Marcus. We build relationships one customer at a time." He smirked. "I don't need a lesson in relationships from a soap maker. Good luck with your boutique hustle." He sipped his latte and walked away, leaving me with the echo of artisanal noise flickering behind him. I poured myself into the next 6 weeks, securing our ingredient sources, refining our unboxing experience, training our small team to hand stamp each ribbon. At night, I'd fall asleep dreaming of workshop tables, heaving with orders, gleaming holiday markets, and the radiant faces of clients opening Elin gift sets in front of crackling fireplaces. By Thanksgiving, the launch was set, a midnight drop on our site, a pop-up at the Artisan Holiday Fair, and personalized notes we'd slip into every order. Our server hummed but held. Thankfully, our pre-launch ads had been modest and targeted. The first orders trickled in 5, 10, 30. By early December, we'd sold out our first 500 sets. Word of mouth surged, and the buzz around Elin felt electric. And then I saw the post. On a Tuesday morning, LinkedIn pinged with notifications. Among them, a company update from Evergreen Capital, Marcus's real estate investment firm. He'd posted a photo carousel of his annual holiday client appreciation event, a festively decorated boardroom, clients with champagne flutes, tables piled with elegant gift boxes. I clicked through, heart in my throat, and froze. The gift boxes were mine. Forest green with gold foil leaf and star, hand-dyed ribbons in Ellen's bespoke palette, and the trademark personalized notes tucked inside. Beginning, "Dear client name, in gratitude for your partnership," my very copy, word for word. I read the caption below Marcus's photos. "Huge thank you to our clients this year. Enjoy these special holiday sets from our friends at Elin Artisanal." The comments scrolled. "Beautiful packaging. Such a classy gift. Who are Elin Artisanal? We need to stock these." And buried in the thread, a reply from Marcus. "Emma's designs are unmatched. Go check her out." I stared at the screen, breath catching. He'd mocked my dream, called it noise, then seized our product for his own advantage, and bewilderingly credited me. I felt a dizzy mix of vindication, fury, and oddly pride. I sank into my chair. One hand, he'd lifted Elan from boutique whispers to Evergreen's network of high-net-worth clients. On the other, he'd poached our entire inventory without warning, forcing us to rush produce hundreds of extra sets to fulfill his last-minute request. If I hadn't had a half-dozen part-time artisans on call, our own customers would have faced delays, possibly hundreds of angry emails. I closed my laptop and tapped out a quick text to June. Holy shit. Marcus used our boxes at Evergreen's client party. Her reply was immediate. No way. Screenshot everything. Screenshot in hand, I marched down the hall to Marcus's office. The door was closed. I knocked once, then twice. No answer. I pushed it open, despite the placard reading "Quiet, please." Inside, he sat behind his massive mahogany desk, the gifts stacked behind him like a silent forest. He looked up, surprised. "Emma," he said. "What?" I thrust the screenshots at him. "Explain this." He blinked at the images, setting down his pen. "I thought you knew. I reached out last month. I needed gifts and heard about your holiday promo. I assumed you'd welcome the volume. We talked casually at the cafe." I shook my head. "We never talked. You didn't ask. You just took them." He rubbed his temples. "I did ask Autumn in your marketing. You said happy to provide a corporate rate. It was never my intention to steal." "My marketing intern?" I echoed. "Autumn asked about wholesale pricing." "Sure, but she didn't have the authority to commit Elan's inventory, especially not at the margins you needed." He sighed, leaning back. "I see I messed up. I thought it was a win-win. I get premium gifts, you get exposure to high-value clients. I even mentioned Elan's website in my post." I felt my anger swirl. The exposure was real, but at what cost? Shackled inventory, frantic production, the risk of letdown. Yet part of me itched with gratitude. His network could skyrocket Elan's growth. I took a measured breath. "You're right that Evergreen's clients loved the packaging. They've been emailing Autumn to stock Elan in their offices. But this ends one way. I need you to commit properly. Sign a wholesale agreement, pay for the extra sets at our premium corporate rate, and agree to future orders at fair margins. And I need a public clarification on your post that Elan provided the gifts under a wholesale arrangement, not friends at Elan. Understood?" He nodded, stoic relief in his eyes. "Understood. I'll pay immediately and post a correction, and I'll send an email introduction to all clients. Elan Artisanal is now Evergreen's official gifting partner." I exhaled. "Good. Let's make this right." Back in my studio, I sent a revised wholesale contract to Marcus, minimum order of 250 sets, 30% margins, paid net 30, co-branded marketing commitments. I CC'd Autumn to ensure clarity. Marcus called within the hour, signed and sent. "You're a lifesaver, Emma." He was contrite, maybe for the first time I'd seen, yet I also sensed he recognized the value I'd built. He tried to shortcut it, but ultimately had to circle back to respect my terms. As the notifications pinged, signed contract, corrected LinkedIn post, client intros on the way, I realized this story had two threads: proving people wrong, and turning skeptics into partners. I'd weathered doubt, reclaimed my dream, and now leveraged his misstep into a strategic win. That evening, I tallied our numbers. Evergreen orders would cover next quarter's capital equipment, enabling us to expand to a new warehouse. The additional exposure from those high-profile client intros could land us corporate gifting contracts. 10x, the revenue of our holiday line. I sank into my chair, exhausted but exhilarated. Marcus had tried to clip my wings, only to discover my brand was stronger than his assumptions. And as I drafted our next holiday roadmap, new scents, new designs, a subscription box service, I felt the thrill of dreaming big, unshakable. Part 2 will explore fulfilling the Evergreen partnership, integrating large-scale operations without losing artisan soul, and perhaps turning Marcus from a cautionary footnote into an unexpected co-advocate for Elan's vision. But for tonight, I'll close my eyes with the knowledge that every big dream can survive, even thrive, when you hold people to your worth and insist they play by your rules. When Marcus's signed wholesale agreement pinged into my inbox, relief washed through me like sunlight after rain. The terms were clear: 250 sets at 30% margin, paid net 30, co-branded marketing mentions, and Evergreen's correction post had already reshaped perception. His clients now knew Elan Artisanal was the official gifting partner, not merely friends. With a deep exhale, I realized part 1 had been about standing up for my dream. Part 2 would be about scaling that dream into something enduring, something that could carry the weight of big clients without sacrificing the soul of small batch craftsmanship. Mobilizing the makers, my first call was to Ivy, my co-founder, whose home studio was now the nerve center of our holiday surge. "We have evergreen orders coming in, 300 sets on top of retail," I said. "We need to mobilize 5 more artisans and double our packaging capacity." Ivy's eyes lit up. "I can tap into the Highlands Pottery Guild and reach out to the Bali Cocoa Collective. We'll need extra hands for ribbon tying nights." Within 24 hours, we onboarded 2 ceramicists who agreed to carve extra stoneware mugs in our exclusive holiday motif, and a chocolatier in Bali who ramped up nib production for our dark milk blend. I renegotiated lead times. Everything arrived on schedule. Meanwhile, I hosted packaging parties at our downtown loft. Friends, interns, and a handful of evergreen assistants showed up with matching aprons, looping gold ribbon around boxes, and stamping each with the oak leaf crest. Between snippets of holiday tunes and coffee-fueled banter, "Better stick this ribbon straight, or Marcus will notice," we produced 600 gift sets in 2 evenings. The work felt festive, communal, a far cry from the solitary panic of recruiting freelancers. We'd turned a near crisis into an act of celebration. 2. Building the Evergreen Dashboard. Meanwhile, Marcus and I spearheaded the Evergreen Portal, a private B2B dashboard where his clients could reorder gifts, select personalization options, and track fulfillment in real time. He brought in his dev team. I contributed UI/UX guidelines that emphasized warmth and clarity, big artisan photos, friendly status messages, "Your boxes are being tied with love," a direct chat line to our artisan concierge. 2 weeks later, the portal went live. Evergreen's C-suite tested it, praising its intuitive design. I watched my own words. "Celebrate humans, not transactions," become tooltips in the interface. It was surreal, a phrase I'd once whispered in boardroom pitches, now guiding enterprise digital experiences. 3. Navigating the corporate crossover. With Evergreen's launch behind us, I saw other corporations taking notice. By January, inquiries outpaced our website, form fill by 300%. A boutique PR agency reached out to package a story for Forbes, how a former doubter became the Christmas miracle maker for one of America's top investment firms. Instead of a victory lap, I chose to be vetting each lead. "Let's have a 15-minute call," I'd say. Not every inquiry was a fit. Not every company shared our values of small batch care and full attribution. Ivy and I learned to say no gracefully. "Thank you, but we reserve our capacity for partnerships that honor our artisan community." That discernment kept us from overcommitting and burning out. 4. The Artisan Symposium. By March, we had enough momentum to host our first Artisan Symposium, a day-long event bringing together the Highlands Potters, Bali chocolatiers, Evergreen clients, and a dozen other small batch makers from around the world. Held in a reclaimed loft space, the symposium featured panel discussions on scalable craftsmanship, breakout sessions on ethical sourcing, and a central marketplace where attendees could sample products, network, and vote on future ALN collaborations. I saw Marcus, now fully invested in our vision, introduce me on stage. "This is the woman who taught me to dream big and deliver bigger." The applause that followed wasn't for a product, it was for the community we'd fostered. We closed the day with a cacao toast, each artisan raising a tiny cup in solidarity, and I realized ALN had become more than a brand. It was a movement. 5. Sustaining the dream. Sitting in the quiet of my studio that evening, I reflected on the journey from artisanal noise to must-have corporate partner. The Evergreen deal had been a turning point, but sustaining that growth meant building processes that honored our roots. Quarterly artisan audits. I visit each production site, Highlands workshops, Bali cocoa farms, to ensure fair wages and consistent quality. Empathy-driven KPIs, beyond sales targets. I track artisan satisfaction and customer delight surveys. Iterative product roadmaps. Each season, we test 2 new artisanal items in micro batches. Winners scale up. Capacity building grants. A portion of Evergreen royalties funds equipment upgrades for small makers. These mechanisms ensure ALN doesn't outgrow the very values that made it possible. 6. Full circle, 6 months after that first unannounced Evergreen gift drop, the holiday season arrived again. This time, I sat quietly in the Galleria showroom, our new flagship collaboration pop-up inside Evergreen's headquarters, watching clients unwrap gift sets that bore our now familiar forest green boxes. Marcus approached, handing me a mug of spiced tea. "You built this," he said softly. "Not me." I touched the box beside me, the one we designed in that first studio meeting, and smiled. We did it together. He winked. But remember, you told me to stop dreaming big, I chuckled, voice warm. And now I dream bigger. A global network of artisans, multiple corporate partners, a culture that values small batch care over mass production. Because dreams, when you have the right people believing in them, come true. He raised his teacup. To dreaming big and to never doubting the forces behind the packaging. I clinked mugs, gratitude swelling. The journey from being told I wasn't startup material to becoming the holiday packaging powerhouse for one of his biggest clients had been wild and deeply human. It taught me that vision isn't just about products, it's about how you lift others, hold them in your craft, and turn noise into powerful, unforgettable stories. As I look ahead to part 3, the expansion into subscription services, our first brick-and-mortar boutique, and the day we mentor the next generation of dreamers, I know one thing for certain. Elon's packaging will always carry more than gifts. It will carry proof that big dreams, when nurtured with empathy and grit, can reshape the world one box at a time.